Hello and welcome to the STCfit Learning Podcast. I'll be your host today. My name's Ben Scott. I'll be joined by Jason Galea. Thanks for joining us on our way to create 1 million positive outcomes for personal training clients by 2030. The podcast is brought to you by @STCfit Learning, a page created to upskill and educate PTs and gym nerds. Also brought to you by @STCfit, and that's a place for all your online and in-person personal training needs. If you enjoyed today's episodes, please give us a share and tag on the Instawebs. You can tag @STCfit, @STCfit Learning, @BenScottSC, and @JasonGalea PC. Hope you enjoy the show.
You can run a guest episode, the Jason Show, if you like. Today's episode, Jason Galea is our guest.
I'm gonna stop actually like touching this mic. It's making me nervous. I don't know how many people would
I
actually
hope that's
tune.
all been recorded.
I don't I don't actually know how many people would tune into that and actually how long that episode would go for. Yeah, you'd be very short.
I was on Aaron's last week. He's like, "So, what do you like?" I'm like, my job, training,
Working
eating,
out.
steak,
Yeah.
lifting weights.
All the boring stuff.
Yeah. My fiance's all right. That's about it.
Are we on?
Don't like much else. This isn't actually the episode, but
Okay, cool.
yeah.
All right.
But whenever we're ready,
Nothing
I guess.
incriminating from this point on.
I don't know why I feel awkward for the first time ever.
Well, I'm just waiting.
That's our new intro.
Okay.
Welcome to the episode.
Sorry, guys, we're sitting in a different environment with these We finally got these headsets. So for the listeners who've been with us along the journey, would know that we've always made mistakes with the audio. It's been quite inconsistent, and it's not Tam's fault. It's ours. And we moved to Zoom, and it became very inconsistent from either side. And then now we're here with these fancy headsets finally.
Yeah.
This is the second bite of the cherry too.
Well, the soundboard that we're using today, I was just doing the math in my head. We bought exactly 2 years ago.
Yeah, and then we bought a set of headsets, which ended up becoming all of our own individual headsets that we use at home.
But we just use for Zoom.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even use it. I've just got a spare set at home now. And now we have these big fancy ones.
So we hope that the audio is good. We're both very paranoid about our breathing.
Yeah.
Because we're both overweight individuals.
Yeah, I'm apologising in advance. Had a lot of caffeine today.
Yeah. And I just train legs. So that's a Tam issue. If there's lots of breathing, we'll just say that he didn't edit it correctly, not that we're
if
fat.
you can make that go away, please do so.
Feedback is no.
Feedback is he's not confident.
What's news, Jason?
Oh, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so we've
lots.
decided to do a episode around what's news because there's a lot.
Yeah.
And give you guys a little bit of insight to what's going on in the back end for us. So less instructional, I guess, this week.
Yeah.
And a little bit more just freeballing on what's going on for us and in the world, I guess, with the shutdowns and stuff that are so prevalent, obviously in Australia, but everywhere as well.
Yeah. I guess on a personal level, like things have changed just as a reflection of like, you know, the way we've had to pivot with work and stuff, like, you know, not placing full responsibility or ownership on the situation. I'm going to take responsibility for a lot of it myself, but there are external circumstances which have made the whole industry kind of pivot and move and whatnot. So that's affected, like, you know, just like the goals and just like, you know, just where I thought I would see myself by the end of the year, or like just at this age. Like, I don't know about you, but I really like to have my life planned out by my age. You know, I've always, you know, by the time I'm 25, I was buying a house. By the time I was 30, I was married. By, you know, I would have liked, you know, to, you know, maybe this year be able to kind of, you know, invest in something and, you know, move out and buy another home and stuff. And everything's just being put on the back burner. Even just income goals, like, you know, I'll set myself goals based on income because I think that that's a really good way to reverse engineer kind of what needs to be happening within the business too. Yeah. It's like, you know, we've got standout PT, we've got the 1% program coming out, which we're going to talk about today. We've got, online coaching. We've got Be Bulletproof. We've got Lean and Strong Blueprint. So we've got all these things coming out. And then I still am a very passionate coach. So I still coach people. I think it's, because I like to set an example. And I can run multiple businesses at once, because when you become good at running businesses, you can do that.
Yeah.
Then you can reverse engineer that and go, well, for these income goals, I need to have this and that and all that. So that's kind of had to change as well, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we failed or anything like that. It's I think just where we can, we've just got to turn the dials up just on the things that we know we can get a lot of traction with at the moment. So that's kind of where we're at a personal level without going into too much detail, but work's still good. Still plenty of stuff to do. Just with the gym being put on the back burner now.
Yeah, so that's the scoop. That's the big announcement. So I don't think we've talked about that publicly yet.
No.
So for those who are maybe newer to the podcast, we've been talking about this facility for at least 3 years. It's always been on the goals list, but actively invested in it for the last few years. Deals fell through, deals came back even better, and we were sort of fuck yeah, this has actually worked out really well for us. And then we sort of, obviously, things got pretty good over the summer here, and was we're fucking on here.
Yep.
We're going to talk about the industry itself later, but the big purge that happened of lower end coaches that maybe didn't have the business setups and stuff that they needed to survive last year left huge holes in the market.
Yeah.
And we were well, this is, a lot of people are closing and getting out. This is a huge opportunity for us to get in.
Yeah, the whole thing's been an emotional roller coaster. I don't know what the gym means for you, and just in terms of your own personal goals and stuff. But for me, I was 16 years old. Told my dad, I'm gonna own a gym. I'm gonna own a gym as a young 16-year-old kid. And children say a lot of shit. They want to fucking be astronauts. They want to do this, but this for me was this was it.
Yeah.
Told my year 10 teacher, not interested with anything to do with school. I'm going to be a personal trainer. For people who've listened to the podcast, obviously they've heard that story before. Got met with PT is not a real job. You need to do this, do that. So, and then here I am. Yeah. So having to, being so close or just going on that journey, it's this goes through, this agreement gets done, this permit gets passed. Then all of a sudden, these drawings are wrong, or, this structure's unsafe. This person's not willing to pay for the fixing it. So, you're back to square one. It's just been a huge thing to a huge journey to go on, whilst still trying to channel energy into STCfit Learning, my own personal coaching business. It's just been a really hard thing to work with. So I guess the only plus side to us looking, every good business should do a SWOT analysis.
Yeah.
And it's just what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, all of those kind of things, and go, is it really feasible for us to kind of move in this direction? And it's every smart person would sit there and say no.
Yeah, and that was a conversation when it was let's take the emotion out of this right now.
Yeah.
So what effectively happened was I'm not going to go into the politics of it, but we locked down in Victoria, and I think we had 6 active cases. Yeah. And it was okay, if that's the response, we can't do this.
Yeah.
Because it's too volatile. The government remuneration isn't enough to keep the doors open.
Yep.
So if this happens when we're new, that's a challenge. We almost basically need to be in a position that we're paying for the gym whether it's open or not.
Yeah, that's it. If you can't pay the bills when the doors are closed, then, and you haven't opened yet, there is no way you should say, yes, let's do this.
Yeah, right now, for sure.
Especially with the response that we've kind of experienced from the government in terms of how they're managing the situation. It's it's the first and last resort. There's nothing in between.
Yeah.
It's lock everyone in their homes, shut your businesses down. We'll decide whether you can operate or not.
Yeah.
And it's you just, and you're not getting the support you need either. So, we just had to pull the pin on that. But I guess with that, there's a tremendous amount of weight that's been kind of, I guess, eased. Because, just, I don't know, the uncertainty of it, just like with all the other stuff was, kind of weighed you down. Or me personally, I don't know about yourself, but
that week was like,
Yeah,
so
it was
I
rough,
decided to pull out of nationals. The next day we were like, gym's not it. Let's pull the pin. I was fucking mess for like 4 days.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shit day. It was a bit of a shit week.
Yeah. And then the following week, like you said, it was like, and interesting enough, the nationals got cancelled yesterday, so I'm happy with that call now too. But it was like I think I said to you about a week later, it was like, I actually just feel relieved.
Yeah.
Like this weight that's been sort of pressing down for ages just kind of went away, which was really interesting. And the productivity since then has been really good from everyone. So
I've gotten a lot of clarity since then, because I can really just knuckle down and go, right, this is the way things are going to be for me for the immediate future now.
Yeah.
So it's like I can, I actually opened up 10 coaching spots. Straight after that, I was like, I can take on another 10 people. Like,
I did the same thing.
So that got met with a really good response. I think I've only got like maybe 3 or 4 left. So that's really good. I'm pretty happy with that. And just being able to give more time and energy to the programs that we have now, as well as like another project that we had on the back burner, but now we're just going to bring forward. With the training app and stuff. So
I think that's a really valuable lesson for like coaches that are listening. Energy distribution is really something you need to consider.
Yeah.
So like we had all these things in place, and I said to you, basically I got into a position where it was like I had to choose between more clients or JobKeeper.
Yeah.
So then it was like, okay, cap that. Then it was like the gyms could be 2 to 3 months out at any point. So it's like, let's just hold that off.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it was, all right, we're not doing that. Same thing next day. Opened a whole new check-in day. So it's like 15 clients. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important. And the interesting thing too is like being able to, and we do this a lot without even really talking about it, the bigger your business gets, particularly when you start to incorporate different projects and other people, you have to start wearing different hats at different times.
Yeah.
So like you were talking about all the different areas that we have different roles to play within that.
Yeah.
So then the next tier up is like we're the directors too. So you have to make decisions based on being a director. Then you have to make decisions based on being an individual.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's best? Director hat usually comes on first. We're all pretty good at doing that.
Yeah. What's
the best thing for the business for our long-term gain and to support everyone that, whether it's coaches, the Brains Trust guys, to make sure that that projection is happening, like what we've sort of agreed to. Then making sure no decisions that we make are going to negatively impact our client base.
Yep. So
that's always number one. And then it's like, okay, with that in place, what's the best thing for me right now? What are the best projects for me to pursue? What else can I do? And making sure that like you end the week fulfilled as well.
Yeah.
And you're still able to hit all your personal goals, like you were saying, with income and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Still needs to be facilitated. So if you're in a position where you either already have coaches on or you're thinking about it, that's a really important skill to be able to build. When are you a coach? When are you an educator? When are you a director? When are you just you? When are you a husband or a fiance? When are you a dad? Like all of those things are really important to consider what mode you need to be in, and then being able to filter through every single one of those lenses and come out with clarity at the bottom.
Yeah, and that's really hard to do. Like, I don't know how many times I've sat at the dinner table and like been a director to my wife. Like, they're problem solving, not just being a set of ears to listen to. It's just like trying to fix the problem. It's like, all right, I'm actually not here to fix this problem. I'm just here to listen. So it's a really hard thing to filter, even just personally.
Yeah.
But there's a time and a place to act accordingly. Definitely. And that's been a really hard thing to manage. But I think that if you have really clear and concise goals, you've got personally and as a business. And then you've got really good like KPRs, like key person who's responsible for certain things, especially as your team grows. Like that's been a really big game changer for us as our team's expanded. It's like we've all got really like, it's like, yeah, you're in education, like you're the managing director, and like your dad's admin. It's like, yeah, but sometimes I do admin, sometimes you're doing education, sometimes your dad's doing directing shit. It's like really we should be assuming these defined kind of roles. And as the business got bigger, we had to, where like before we didn't have to. So I think that does help bring a lot of clarity and helps with that filter, because you look at things and go, right, well, if I'm responsible for this or this person's responsible for it, they report to me. So when they do that, I have to act accordingly. And then it's like, depending on how high up the chain it has to go, like depending on what height of that chain it is and who's responsible for that, you would have to act accordingly.
Yeah, it's almost like an allocation of, if this fucks up, who's responsible?
Yeah.
That's literally where it comes down
Pretty
to.
much.
So it's cool. All of us are involved in education, but if the shit doesn't get done, there needs to be a person that was like, you didn't follow X, Y, Z up to make sure that
falls
happened.
on me, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely within learning anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we learnt that the hard way by not doing it, and then looking back at the business and being like, well, this has gone really shit. Who's responsible for that?
Yeah.
And everyone just sort of looked around the room like,
Yeah.
So that had to change pretty quick.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a really interesting space, I guess, for us moving forwards. So not having the gym, in terms of like what it changes for STCfit, which is our like coaching service. The main thing that we sort of want to be doing that we had planned with the gym is like content.
Yeah.
So being able to put out in the gym content that was high quality, that we didn't have to ask another gym manager
to turn the
can you
music
turn the
down
music
and
down,
shit.
and
Yeah.
can you get out of the way, and like can you not drop deadlifts 3 inches from the camera that you know is recording? Like all
Which
that
actually
shit
happened.
So yeah, just like that will be a challenge, and we're putting together ideas of how to I guess
Make that happen first,
get a solution to that. Otherwise, I guess it frees up a little bit more time for other content related stuff, and to really focus on our online support and the online education side that's really new for Fit.
Yeah.
The Beat Bullet program, the Lean and Strong program, and then there'll be a new one next year as well.
Yep.
So yeah, I think a lot of people were excited about the gym, and like you mentioned earlier, like what the gym meant to me. I've never been like that. I didn't have that kind of grandiose vision of a facility like you did. It was like, in my head, we need somewhere where the Brains Trust all operates from.
Yeah.
We have access to equipment to create great content, because like my role is, where are we 5 to 10 years? And the gym is a stepping stone as part of that, not that for me. So it's like, okay, yeah, cool, would be sweet to have like 300, 400, 500 members in the gym, but I'm more interested in how much reach that gives us.
Yeah.
So I guess like one of the biggest ones is, which is so weird. It's so weird. When you talk to people, like I know gym owners that like make 30, 40 grand a year.
Yeah, it's a wage. Yeah.
And you talk to people and they're like, so do you guys have a gym?
Yeah.
Like, no, we just operate online and do education and stuff. It's like they're disappointed.
Yeah, because they don't understand.
Yeah, and it's like, it's almost like just having to be able to say yes to that question is like a legitimization step.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it puts the brand like, yeah, we fucking have a gym.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? There's so much like just authority that comes with the gym, but it's like, there's a lot of people that run really fucking bad businesses, man. And like a slave, like you can buy a job through a gym.
Yeah.
Like we weren't it was undesirable for us to do that. So we were setting it up in a way where it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just buy it and they're slaving away to it for the rest of the days that they have it.
Yeah. And if we had chose to do that, we probably could have opened now.
Yeah.
Because we don't have, like, we agreed, we're not cleaning it ourselves. We're not manning reception ourselves. We're not there 40 hours a week ourselves. No. Like, that's not. So the catch to that is, like, you need staff. staff need to be paid during a lockdown.
Yeah.
So the expenses go from just the equipment costs to and the lease costs to making sure you're taking care of the people that are in your place. So it kind of trends up. So I guess like the authority thing in terms of fit, maybe it would be cool to have that, but look, I don't think it's really held us back at any point. No. I don't get someone ask me in a consult like, hey, do you have a gym? And that's the determining factor of whether they want online coaching or not. So I don't think it'll make a huge impact. And we'll find a way around it in terms of creating in the gym content and stuff. So if anyone's in Melbourne and wants to just give us their gym like a day a week or some shit,
even for
hit us up.
Even for 3 or 4 hours without music blaring, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Learning wise, I guess that was part of the gym facility we wanted was a classroom.
Yeah.
We wanted to be able to run in-person seminars, technical workshops,
Yep.
talk about, not that we don't get fulfillment out of talking about business, but we also like to fucking train.
Yeah.
So being able to teach
we actually
people,
like to talk about training a lot.
Yeah, teaching people that stuff is really, really fun, but it's kind of hard to do in a Zoom classroom.
Yep.
So being able to have access to that would have been awesome. And we've also been involved in the grassroots like Cert 3-4 and bringing in better quality PTs than what is considered the standard has been fulfilling for us in the past, so that having a facility allowed us to do that. So they're probably the things that we miss out on moving forwards. What we gain is a project that we've had, like you said, it's been there, but no commitment, no date, that we've gone, right, this needs to fucking happen now.
Yeah.
Which I said to someone the other day, I'm like, I think it'll be my personal opinion of looking at the curriculum of that course is it's industry shifting.
Yeah.
And I'm probably biased, and that's fine. Yeah. Like, whatever, Ben, you're just trying to sell it. Fuck off, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, the content that's in that, if we had have had that in our, like, standout PTs probably after 6 months, and you go into that, if you had this next course in your first 1 to 2 years, where you would be in your career.
Yeah, you're making it.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, you're making it.
Like,
you're making it, and you're making it in half the time.
Yeah.
Like, that's where
send it. Go on the rant.
This is where the fucking rite of passage of eating shit doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So
if anyone saw the post of I don't know, they're doing okay online. The person that posted it, that you don't need a business coach, you just need to eat shit for 5 years.
Yep.
If you're eating shit for 5 years in 2021, you are fucking up.
Yeah. That's it. It's like, why 5 years? Like, you break through into the 6th year and like
it just magically changes.
You just get, what do you get? Like, your business you get an actual business that's successful. I understand that. So yeah, that's where you don't have to eat shit and you should always try to avoid it. Like, be prepared to.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm prepared to do it. Mm-hmm. Am I going to look and physically go out of my way to eat shit? Fuck no.
Yeah.
It's like, make sure that, like, I'm going to do the things that I don't want to do that are going to get me ahead. But, like, creating Stand-Up PT, creating this 1% program, or we're not really kind of set on the name just yet, but, like, it'll get you into the top 1% of personal trainers. That's the goal. Yeah. Those things are designed to fast-track people's careers.
Yeah.
And to, like, you know, put your roots into the ground and stay.
Yeah.
You know, so if I had access to things like that, just from, it's not even access from that. It's like just people that are doing what you want to do, and a little bit more. Like, there was always someone that's like, you know, I got approached by some person early on in my career about a course, and like, man, I just did not fucking trust the dude. Like, he fucking just, like, he just had this really bad vibe about him. He didn't work out. He didn't train anybody. When he did train in the gym, he trained like shit. I'm like, fuck, bro, I'm not gonna follow anything that you fucking tell me. Like, you're just a dude who's good with words.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool.
Probably good at sales.
So what if I was good at everything?
Yeah.
You know, and what if I had a really clear vision of like what my business was like? And what if I had a 50-50 ratio of business skills and technical skills?
Yeah.
Like, would that not, like, lower the amount of shit that I would hypothetically have to eat as a rite of passage to the promised land of business success. Like, you know, so that's what this program's all about. That's what all of our programs are all about. And the really fulfilling thing, and one of the positives about us having more energy to take away from the gym project to give back to what we're currently doing, is that we can just make what we've got better and add this next layer to next service as a layer of steps upwards to making personal trainers, you know, survive and live really fulfilling careers. So that's really really exciting.
Yeah, so I think it's an interesting step based on what's normal in fitness. It's like the rite of passage is like you become a successful PT, maybe you put on some coaches, then you move to your own facility, then you start running seminars, and that's like the rite of passage to a successful PT.
Yeah.
Now there's guys like Mike and RP have been doing it for a while. It's like, I don't know where the fuck Mike works from. He's everywhere. He's just everywhere all the time.
I don't even know where he lives.
Yeah. So it's like he probably blazed that path a little bit. Yeah. And then you look at say the Prescript guys and Jordan, just lived out of a suitcase for 2 years pre-COVID.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so that's a thing. So this rite of passage of you have to have overheads, you have to have a facility, and this doesn't mean we'll never open one, but we're not going to open one to run and work a job in it.
Yeah, I already bought a job. It was the $300 rent I had to pay the gym, and it was a fucking job when I wasn't making ends meet. I can tell you that. You know, that was a look at the clock and you know, kind of look when you're going to finish kind of thing. So I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, so I think this is not that every trainer, every coach should go into education, because I think there's you have to have a certain value system to want to do that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And a certain skill set to do that. But I think the availability and the opportunity is there now to pursue a different path and not just follow the model that everyone's done. It's like
there's no proverbial path anymore.
Yeah, and just understand that it's okay if your mum still thinks you do fucking Les Mills classes in.
My mum has no fucking idea what I do, and it's funny because we say in the course you should be able to pitch to your mum and they should be able to know what you do. It's like, it's always changing. It's funny. Like I told my mum the other day, I'm like, just the gym's not happening. I'm, just going to work with my online business and do the courses and stuff and that. And she's like, is everything okay? Like, are you all good? Like, do you need money? I'm like, no, Mum. I'm like, I'm fucking
good.
Sweet.
We're good.
Yeah. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, business is going up in terms of income. Personal goals in terms of income are getting there.
Yeah.
It's like I'm good.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't have that thing that people all know.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have a place to work at, so I work at home and I'm on the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like that's perfectly normal now. And like the life of a digital nomad in fitness, and who the fuck would have thought? Like, I mean, I'm going to take that back. Maybe 5 to 7 years ago, I had a conversation with somebody, and I was like, it'd be great to just be able to kind of program and tell people what to do. I remember having this conversation. I can't remember who it was with, but I think I saw I inquired for a program off Rorto, and kind of knew that he was moving that way. And then I just thought about it broad spectrumly, and it's like, here we are now. And one of the positives from, I guess, this pandemic and us having to stay the fuck away from each other, being forced to stay away from each other, is that we've had to innovate, and that's what good business owners do, and that's what humans do. Typically is we're the best at innovation. We've done it over our whole existence, and we've now been able to pivot and go, well, or even just see the light and go, you know what? There's so many people out there that are motivated to train that just need to be fucking told what to do, and just need to have some accountability, be educated along the way, and have some troubleshooting and all that kind of stuff. And now I think that because that light's been seen and education's changed, everyone's happy to sit on a computer and tap into Zoom. They don't drive into the city, park a car, catch a fucking plane like we did, fly into another state to see whoever, or be prepared to travel overseas like we were gonna. It's just changed the way businesses operate. And if you can't pivot like that, if you're still that client, that trainer that's taking cash and fucking, using your whiteboard, writing your workouts out. It's like, if anything, you actually don't really deserve to be in the industry anymore. It's like you haven't moved with the times.
Less and less people are gonna be willing to do that too.
Yeah,
like
100%.
if you're under 30 now, the
100%.
access to information you have just on Instagram to rock up to that kind of session is like, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's sustainable anymore.
It's so easy to be superseded by someone who still isn't the best. Like it's so easy to stand out compared to that person.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking scrounging at the bottom.
Yeah.
Eating the scraps kind of shit.
Yeah.
So.
But it used to be that guy, there was always one in every gym that had fucking 50 clients doing groups, entertainment-based shit. I think it's fallen to the wayside real quick.
Yeah.
Because most of them had to leave because most of them were used to great incomes that went away.
Yeah.
So it's like, I need to go get a job because I'm living a lifestyle based on making $100,000 a year.
Yep.
And that's fucking gone.
Yeah. It's the people that doing the trading of time for money.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
The current, with the pandemic, with the shift of all that, with the shift of the industry, it's like there's been tremendous opportunity. And if you've taken advantage of that, you're in a good spot. If you can see advantage in the future, or just see the way the landscape looks now, it's like the landscape's quite open. There's still a huge demand for face-to-face training.
Yeah.
Like I hate those coaches that sit there and say like face-to-face is dead. It's like face-to-face dead for you because you're a shit fucking coach. Like you don't pay attention.
Yeah.
You're looking at that session waiting to leave. It's like you're not present when that person's moving. You can't troubleshoot the shit that you're seeing.
Yeah, or you're just not passionate about it.
Yeah. So it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Don't say that, because if anything, there's going to be an even bigger demand for it, and you're going to be able to charge more because, you're not going to charge peanuts for online coaching. Like people value things when the price is right.
Yeah.
It's too cheap, they don't care, they can throw it away.
Yeah.
If it's too expensive, they'll only do it for a short period of time if they see no value in it. If the price is right, they will keep it and they will stick to it and they will value it and they will do what they need to do. So your face-to-face has to be a step above that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, and the reason I mentioned the passion thing was like, I went back to, I had a couple of clients that were like regulars.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is a challenge for me at this point. It's like, because they've been training forever, man. They know how to move and all of that. And it was just like, this isn't, I know you still really enjoy face-to-face, but like, I was just like, this isn't getting me out of bed on a Saturday morning excited.
Yeah.
If I had someone coming in like, hey, I need a tech session for this lift or this movement, or I'm getting this niggle, can you help? Let's look at your training. Like, fuck, I'm out of bed in 2 seconds. Let's go.
Yeah.
But the regular, almost like when I say watching of the training, I don't mean the concept of being a crap PT and just standing there. The
spectator.
The being in a position where your clients are so well drilled that you actually don't need to do that much session to session.
Yeah.
That for me, I was like, this isn't really ticking the box for me anymore.
Yeah. Like I feel like most coaches graduate to that point, like the good ones, and like I think that's a better consideration for like rite of passage. The change in careers in terms of like maybe moving online coaching, bringing on other trainers, and you kind of looking at overseeing some stuff. I think that's a better rite of passage. Is when you get to that point, you're just like, I've gotten all these people to this point. Now I'm just spectating. Like you guys have enough to be okay. Like I'm really just here to make sure you come.
Yeah. We've got a guy in Standout PT that's basically using that model to push people online.
Yeah.
So everyone in the gym is always new.
Yeah.
Which that's really cool. I think that more people should be doing that at that level.
Yeah, it's it's not common enough. And it's again like just being stuck in the old school ways of like the way PT should be.
Yeah.
So you get like clients is the currency. Like how many clients you have, and seeing them in the gym.
Yeah, retention doesn't just have to be 3 sessions a week forever.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, so I guess the message to the PTs that do love face-to-face, keep doing it, man. Like,
100%.
Just make sure it gets you out of bed, because if it doesn't, if you're dragging your feet going into work, and like your standards are slipping and all that sort of stuff, it's like, it's not going to last. You'll become unfulfilled and start looking elsewhere.
Yeah.
And your success rate is going to be lower because you're not motivated by it anymore.
Yeah, that's it. I guess like closing on that is like we have a tremendous ability to kind of have enough ratios of, you know, face to face, maybe moving online, maybe moving into education if we deem it necessary, or like sits in alignment with whoever's goals. Like you have enough to get the dose right.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do any more face to face sessions than I do now. And it's fuck all.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is enough. Get some human interaction, build some relationships, you know, kind of get to see people move in space. I value those things. Keep my finger on the pulse a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, especially for me where I sit in the business and my responsibilities, it's like my finger has to be on the pulse a little bit. Yeah. So I still need to keep my hands kind of just working to a degree, because I don't want to be that person sitting back and being disjointed from like how life is in the real world. Like no one respects that person.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I think as coaches, like we can get the dose right. Like if you know that 10's the sweet spot, it's like make that 10 the best, find another way to make your income. Yeah. Or it's like have a really hard look at yourself and go, right, well, maybe I need to up my game a bit.
Yeah.
And have a look at my values and shit and go, okay, well, actually this is important to me. I need to turn up for another 10 sessions on top of the 10 that I'm willing to commit to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a tremendous, thing to value and to acknowledge.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to experiment with stuff. Like some of the models and stuff that we discuss in Standout PT.
Yeah.
It's like when I left Good Life, I had 2 90-minute blocks with 12 clients split evenly between the two. And I just roamed the gym while they were there. And my clients loved it. And I loved it because it was like high pace again. I had like lots going on. There was no lulls. There was less like chit chat to fill time. It was just like go. Hey, you're doing a heavy 3, I'm fucking there. You're doing bicep curls, I'll probably just yell at you across the gym to like extend your arm properly. Like that model, and it worked really well. I didn't get in any other trainer's way because those guys would have been there training if I had one-on-one anyway, because they were consistent 4 times a week trainees, and that worked cool. I don't have a facility to kind of run anything like that all the time now. So instead of this, like, let's see you once a fortnight, once a week sort of thing, I've gone to every 4 to 6 weeks, I'm going to open 8 hours and come in, do your tech session and go home. And I get to like manipulate things, change your program based on how you're moving and all that sort of stuff. Like you said, to stay in it because we both still like it. Yeah. So yeah, I think don't be afraid to test stuff, try things, see how people respond to it, beta test things. Like we've got a guy that's about to start doing powerlifting groups in a fucking Good Life club.
Yeah, there's so many ways to make things work.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, no way.
Innovation at its best.
You can't do that. The membership base isn't here for that. It's like, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Like, you only need 10 people in that gym to make it really, really, really successful.
Yeah, and the lesson there is, outside of obviously trying to innovate, is like there's enough room for everyone to be successful. Like if you know your business, you know your clients, you know who you want to work with.
Stop touching the mic.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I've just got this habit of like having to fiddle with shit. If you know your business, you know your clients, like you know who you want to work with, I think that everyone can be successful in the same place. Like it's the same as the gym. Like, oh, you know, there's so many gyms around. It's like, yeah, there's fucking 400 group gyms. There's, you know, this commercial gym. There's this. It's like, this is the outcomes that we get for these people. This is what, you know, even the online space. It's like, sure, you can talk about as saturated as you want to talk about, but you can also talk about like how you're going to stand out in that market too. Like, and attract a percentage. Doesn't matter how fucking small it is, because when you actually break it down in terms of physical numbers, it's huge. That you would have exposure to and have the opportunity to work with people. It's like there's enough room for everyone. Yeah.
And then people start to have that conversation of like, I'm not good enough. And it's something that makes me like, am I good enough to do something? Train people that you have the technical skill set to work with and that you can engage with. So someone who is 6 months into their personal training career that's really, really good at communicating with the people that they work with and get outcomes, they're not worse PTs than you and me.
Nah, definitely not.
Like,
I still get outcomes.
We got 10 years of experience. Yeah, cool. We might know some more advanced stuff than you right now. But if you're getting results, you're getting results. Yeah. And that's what the metric is for personal training.
It's all paid for.
Exactly. It's not...
That's the currency.
Yeah, it's not being able to regurgitate information about... Well, it's not the Krebs cycle now. What is it? It's like the breath cycle and gait.
You need to know those two things. It's like, because no one ever got strong without knowing them. But that's a tangent.
Yeah. Yeah, results runs on the board.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. Like, you get results, you do it in a safe fashion, you know, like they're the metrics.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Definitely.
Doesn't matter. There's a lot of coaches out there spitting a lot of shit and not getting any results. And it's like, cool, just give me the textbook you read that out of.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And we're the same now.
And I'll go and actually use this to get some results with people. Cool.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So what have you seen? And I know you're not like super invested in the social media as to what's happening everywhere else, but you work with enough coaches and you've seen enough. What do you think are the main pros and cons that have come in the last, what are we up to now, 18 months?
Yep.
Of COVID life?
I'm going to start with the cons first. So the biggest con I've seen is people doing the same thing that they were trying to do pre-COVID. Different world, different landscape, different client base, different demands, different wants, different options available. So, you know, I think that it's a very redundant thought process to go back to what you were doing beforehand. It's like, life's not going to be the same again. Even once this is all over, things have changed. Like, you know, you've got to move with, you know, the market. You're going to have to do that no matter what, like pandemic or not. Yeah. So yeah, that's probably the biggest con that I've seen. Outside of that, it's like just the ownership part of it. It's like, you know, there's still people like, you know, surrendering full control to the pandemic. You know, COVID's destroyed my business and stuff. These lockdowns have destroyed my business. It's like, okay, well, we were in lockdown, last 2-3 weeks. I think all of us as a business were put on about 15 clients, 20 clients.
More, 20 plus.
Yeah, 20 plus in the lockdown alone. So it's like, okay, well, how there's still work business out there. Like, you've just decided not to go and try and seek it. Yeah. So that's another unfortunate con that I've seen. I think like pros is definitely innovation. There's definitely a lot of like new ways that coaches can, you know, run their business. So that's a really positive thing. But yeah, like outside of that, like I guess just with the knowledge that or just with the amount of time I spend in the space, they would be the biggest things that kind of scream out to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wonder if my view is skewed because of who we attract. Like, most coaches that I have conversations with these days is through like the Instagram, like STCfit Learning Instagram, or the Standout PT program itself and stuff like that.
Yep.
So it's like, if you land on our page and you're the whiteboard trainer, you're getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
it's like it's not a friendly place for you.
There's too much growth and ownership that needs to be had there.
Yeah,
like
so
for that person to sign up immediately.
I don't know if that's biased me to think that the industry standard has raised, or the industry standard has raised because the people who didn't possess those thoughts are probably gone.
I don't agree.
Yeah, you think they're still around?
Yeah, I see them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work out at a gym that has
I'm
some of them.
I train in my garage.
Not all of them, some of them.
Yeah.
So it's just that like you have a very high quality circle, Ben, and even the circle outside of your inner circle is probably of high quality, and the circle outside of that is probably of a decent quality. So there's still like we will still get humbled when we go out into the real world and see how people still operate. And I think that that's a good thing for us to do, because you see it in, like, you see the jokes or the memes, like actually in real life, you're like, fuck, okay, these people still here.
Exist.
Yeah. Like, and I feel like they're digging in, you know, like they're not going anywhere. Like they're digging in. So, like, sure, like, I think the standard of training is upped. Like, you know, because you, like, people's stories or people's walls on Instagram are like, have way more content than you could access on the internet when I was 20.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and I can just go onto someone's story and literally, wall on Instagram and just flick through or watch a couple of videos on YouTube and stuff. So definitely the standard overall, but there's like just still those like lowest common denominators that us haven't decided to lift.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be a really interesting place this time next year, provided we're not in the same situation. Well, let's word that a different way. Once we come out the other side of this, it'll be really interesting to see where everything lands.
Yeah, I think like your goal should be to innovate now and come out the other side and bring back what you had pre in a better way, and still be able to offer these new things or this new business model that you've changed to meet the demands of the market for the last 18 months, 2 years, whatever it is. It's like we'll come out the other side with like all of these different products and services, and then it's like, cool, if people want to keep this, face-to-face, real innovative, real intensive kind of personal contact kind of style of service, like, cool, yeah, we'll have the ability to service that. Like, if people want to come in and do face-to-face workshops and seminars and stuff, it's like, yeah, we'll do that, but we will also deliver them online. We will also have online courses. We will most likely run an internship where you come in and do, physical contact stuff, like, we'll wrestle and put each other in headlocks now. But like, we'll do the technical stuff, but it's like, yeah, we've still got all of the other things that we've had to use now to survive as a business and deliver content no matter what. Like, if your message is important, you'll make it work.
Yeah, I think the lessons that the coaches that have survived and the gyms that have survived that they've learnt over this time will make a net positive impact on the industry.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you need to, this is, and we've talked about a few of them that we won't name. The idea of the narcissistic coach who coaches people because it fulfills a need for them, in terms of like, you do what I say and it makes me feel better, and you get a result and that's my result. Like, those kind of, where the drive comes from that place rather than of service.
Yeah.
They're having a real fucking hard time right now.
Yeah.
And you can see a lot of them, like some of the content and stuff that's coming out. It's like, dude, really? Like, someone who's very fucking successful, making a lot of money, put up like, I'm the most impacted person by COVID. Yeah, it's like, I don't think you are, man. But
either way, like, don't get the violin out. Like,
a lot of those people that come from that place, whether they're successful or not, I think are finding things really challenging right now, and are being confronted with the fact that if you need to come from service to be successful, and coming from service means identifying what the person in front of you needs. And if you can identify what the person in front of you needs, then you can create an outcome. Yeah. So if like your business fell apart because of COVID, reword that as, I didn't react fast enough to my client's needs.
Yeah.
To be able to sustain my income. And it's not to toot our own horn, because it was honestly just like, I listened to a podcast, the NBA shut down, and we went, fuck, we need something. Our entire world is about to explode.
Yeah.
And we just got it right at the time.
Yeah, we did.
So I think the people that did that sat back and went, what are these people going to need? Or at least as it started, what do they need? And now looking ahead, what do people need and want? I think that puts you in a pretty good space. And if our industry starts coming from that place, instead of how can I sell some supplements, how can I sell a PDF, I think we'll be in a way better position. Yeah. Which is exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Other impacts, I think, like, I was actually having a chat with Ben Mayfield from Matter Athletica, I think is his business.
Okay.
So he's studying performance psychology.
Yeah.
And I just said, like, how, and you guys that follow the STCfit channel will have noticed the sway in what we talk about, and how we're quite outcome driven, quite direct, quite like, empowerment comes from getting shit done.
Yeah.
Empowerment comes from winning.
Yeah.
And this is how to fucking win. Yep. And the more we do that, the more interaction we get, the more support we get, the faster we grow, the more clients we get. So I think there's this interesting shift culturally. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the people are feeling like they've had control taken away from them, they've had power taken away from them, and they maybe spent the first couple of lockdowns like, I give up, this is out of my hands, and they're just done with it. It's just like, I want to fucking take control of this now. And that shift, because he was the same, he's like, I'm seeing it fucking everywhere, man. So like in his marketing and stuff as well. Yeah, okay. So it's like, okay, so I wonder if that is something. So the idea of the social norm at the moment is like, everything's okay. Enjoy where you are right now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But to come out and be like, where you are is fine. Want to be better?
Yeah.
And people are like, yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas maybe before there was less of those people.
Yeah. Look, that's a really interesting thing to say. I don't know, like, where my head sits with either of those things. Like, I don't really like the whole, like, it's okay where you're at thing. Like, it doesn't really compute with me. I think that's, like, just the whole balance thing again. It's like, you know, like the social, like if I worked off the social norm of what balance is, like I'd be fucking packing shelves at a fucking supermarket. Like, yeah, sure, if that's fine, if that works for you, cool. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
So me working off everyone else's like median of what balance is, it's like I ain't getting shit done.
Yeah.
So it's like, why should I use that social norm as the metric or as the amount of balance that I should have? Like, I think that again, it comes back to just like knowing what the fuck's important to you.
Yeah.
And like knowing, you know, right down to like we talk about like how you value life as a person, what you want to leave behind when you're gone, you know, like whether it's through a family or through influence or through physical things, you know, like if you have a business or something like that, for example, and it's like, if you know those things, it's like you can create whatever fucking balance you need to get that shit done.
Yeah.
You know, so I like the idea of like, it's okay to be better.
Yeah.
But I don't really subscribe to like, it's okay to just pull the sheets over your fucking head.
I 100% agree. And I think that's what the shift has been.
Yeah,
People are starting to move that sheet.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'm done just sitting on the couch, drinking 4 bottles of wine a week because we can't go anywhere. I was like, I'm done with that.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that it takes fucking 9 months being locked up for people to fucking do that. It's like I was done with it the first week, first day. So you take control away from me. I'm like, hey, I actually feel like one of the biggest revelations I had from the first lockdown was just like, well, I felt so sad about it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I've had all this control taken away from me.
Yeah.
And it's like, and so now I'm not the person that I was and the person that I valued. It's like, I am in control of my own destiny, Ben. Yeah. It's like, I set the tone on my life, you know? So when that happened, I was like, this, like, I don't feel well. I don't feel good about myself.
Yeah.
So then it was like, okay, well, how do you take that control back?
Yeah.
You know? And it was like, okay, well, let's fucking pivot.
Yeah. As
a business. Yeah. Let me, like, I'll work within the constraints of what I'm allowed to do as a person for the government. Yeah. But it's unfortunate that it's going to take fucking 9 months of being depressed and drinking yourself stupid and eating Uber Eats and getting fat and getting weak and not working out to go, okay, cool. Now's the time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. And I think, and this is going big, but like, if you look through history, society is the most progressive when things are good, and then the most conservative when things are shit. Yep. So it's very much a conservative mindset to be say like, pull yourself up by your fucking bootstraps and go get it done. Yeah. You and I kind of operate that regardless, but as a society, things have been really good for a really long time for most of us in Western culture.
Fuck, mate, they're still good now.
Don't attack us. Fucking like, I mean, it's a general idea. Like, I know, like, I slept on a mattress too. Like, I get it. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. But generally, as a society, we've had it pretty good. So now it's like, this is the worst thing that most of our generation has experienced.
Definitely.
It's the most uncomfortable position. It's the most like uncertain time. There's fucking talks of economic impacts and collapses. And now like social media, I almost see like the people talking about the suicide deaths more than the COVID deaths. And it's like, this is starting to become people are like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like they're actually, whoa. So the shift is then like, okay, what can I start to do? Like I can't rely on this cruisy life that we've had for 31 and 32 years of our life. Not that every day of our life has been easy, but as a cultural environment, things have been okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting to see if that shift will continue or fuck if things are all good again in a year or two. We all just like
back into normal.
Yeah, back into cruise control and just let things ride.
Yeah, I think like as a parting kind of comment to that part of this discussion, I don't know what your dad said to you about life and saving your money and what you should do when you're older.
We'll bring him in
But
and ask him.
like that generation was like, hoard your cash, pay your house off, live happy ever after.
Yeah.
Put your money in a fucking mattress if you need to.
Yeah.
Put it under the slab of your house if you want to.
Yeah.
You know. Then we have like our generation, which can learn off them. Because my father-in-law was always like, you got to have money for this. You got to. What if this happens? What if that happens? And some of that shit's played out.
Yeah.
It's been 2, economic crashes in the time. So it's like, fuck, okay. Got to hedge your bets, in terms of your assets and wealth. And then if you look at the generation that's, come after you and I, it's like, they're just fucking YOLO. Like, it's like, live to fight another day, living week to week, but it's only once hardship happens that you see them crumble or like fold like a deck of cards. And you're like, okay, so I know for me, I'm like, what can I learn from this? Like, sure, there's time to fucking carpe diem, right? There is,
Yeah.
And then there's times where you fucking hedge your bets and you save your money for a rainy day and you have the bomb shelter and, the doomsday alarm goes off and you go in there and you've got all your money and your canned goods and you fucking set. I think that for people either side of that generation, they like a valuable lesson might be, because, I'm not a life coach. What are they? Lifestyle coach?
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. It's another tangent. They can learn from that and be like, okay, well, let's take the pros and cons of both these types of mindsets on how life should be, how business should be, how this should be. And it's like, man, it's the fucking old El Paso, Goldilocks and the Three Bears all over again. It's like, you want the warm porridge or you want both.
Yeah.
So I think that's the lens that I'm always going to look at life and my business through. And I encourage people who listen to this podcast are the people that get shit done.
Yeah.
They're not the people that are going to throw the sheets over. It's not going to take you guys 9 months to take action. If it has, I'm glad you're here now.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the squad. And they're always looking for the warm porridge. But yeah, like that's pretty much, that's like, I'm closing the door on that. Like that's all we need to talk about. Like,
yeah, I think I actually came up in a very different environment, in the week to week environment. Way more so than like you should have, like hedge your bets sort of thing. Yeah. It was almost like we were always okay. It's like, but there was chaos in that.
Yep.
And I just got to the point where I was like, I'm fucking done with chaos, man. I don't have to live like this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be in a position where things are actually, I can get a bill and not fucking panic. Yeah. I can book a holiday because I feel like it, like that sort of stuff. So it was like, there was a shift for me, probably my mid to later 20s, where I was like, this isn't actually it. Like, I've been making a fair bit of money for a long time. I don't have much to show for it. Yeah. Like a nice car that I'm paying off. So maybe I should do something about that. Yeah. So, but like you said, I hope maybe that's more reflective of the younger generation. Like you said, like maybe there's a layover with our generation, like our age group, that are from the cloth of like, live through the depression, so fucking save your money because you don't know what's going to happen. You might not have a job next month, which a lot of people have now experienced. Yeah. And then through my lens is maybe what the younger group is sort of experiencing is just like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's lots to unpack there as well. Because then it's like, well, if you don't go to work, so there's a lot of people not going back to work because they got paid more at home. Yeah. As well. So that's an interesting sort of world to be in too. But yeah, I think predictions for the future in terms of PT. Someone put up a post about what the next trend will be. I think strength training is still continuing to rise. I keep waiting for bodybuilding to come back.
I don't think it's gone. I think I think people, when it tried to rise, people worked out how hard it was. Yeah. Like I'm talking proper contest prep bodybuilding. Yeah. Like
it went soft for a bit. Yeah. Like you just had to be skinny for bikini shows. You just had to be athletic for physique and whatever. Quite good now. And now it's like, you step on stage, not there. Yeah.
Training methodology is there. The evidence is there. Yeah. The standards of coaching are there. The results are a reflection of that. And then, you can really tell either the athlete who didn't put the effort in, which is not a reflection of the methodology of the coach always.
Yeah.
Or the methodology of the coach is not didn't marry up with the athlete.
The person, yeah. So I think there's potential for that. I think powerlifting is going to keep growing. Strength in general is going to keep growing. I thought CrossFit was on the up, and I think the last 2 CrossFit games have obviously been during COVID times and way less popular. I didn't even know they were fucking on. And we watch them every year. I know you don't pay attention, but we watch them every year. And I was like, oh, well, I missed it. Shit. So I don't know if that's going to do what I thought it was. I don't know what the next thing is. Yeah, I feel like we haven't done kettlebells for a while. Maybe they'll come back.
Well, I'll be sticking with my own main scope of practice, mate.
Yeah, so trend-wise, I don't know. But I think one thing that will continue to happen is the client's expectations of what a personal trainer is will continue to lift.
Yeah, agree.
Because the top end keeps getting better. And if the top end keeps getting better and there's more people that are behaving that way, the bottom end either has to catch up or they lose.
It was just a bigger gap, isn't it?
Yeah. And we've seen it happen in an isolated environment in the gym that we worked in. It was just like a few people went like to the top, like, we're not accepting this standard anymore. This is the minimum effective standard. And it was like, fuck, okay. The gym, all of a sudden, over the next 2 years, the whole gym went up.
Yeah, that's good.
So I think that will continue to happen as an industry-wide thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Awesome. We didn't talk about our training, but probably no one cares anyway.
Yeah. Still training for life.
Jace is getting jacked.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get lean for the first time in forever.
Yeah. I'm actually happy that I'm not snoring anymore. So
we'll find out when we listen back to the podcast.
Yeah.
Trying to identify who has the worst breath.
My wife's been telling me that I haven't been snoring for a while, so I dropped 6 kilos, and that's the magic number.
They're funny that. Yeah, I know if my top lip hurts, that means I've been snoring. Yeah. So the seminar is tomorrow, so that will already have happened. We'll have a new seminar announcement probably straight after that in terms of dates.
Yep.
So pay attention to that. Standout PT, the next intake will be August. No,
October.
later than that, October.
Yeah. October.
So that's a little while away. So
October, November, December. Yep.
But positions are open for that. It is capped. So if you guys want a position, a spot in that, we've also got our 1K PT course. So if you are having a little bit of trouble just getting on your feet at the moment, that's probably the best place to start.
Good place to start.
Learn fundamentals of putting a business together.
Even if you're close to starting, as a PT, if you're close to Cert 4 qualified, getting into the industry, that's the most valuable resource that you will ever need to get started.
Setting up your business, learning to sell, learning to communicate, and fundamentals of movement. And moving into standout PT from there. At STCfit _learning, at Ben Scott STC, at Jason Galea STC, at 10 Vibes, if you want to look at his photography and media stuff.
Hopefully the audio was as good as it sounds through these headphones without me playing with the mic with my ADHD here.
So we would like some feedback on the audio. I think I've figured out where to put the mic so you can't hear me breathe. Just had to move it away from under my nose a little bit, and I think we're good now. So
I'll be looking at Tam every time I touch my mic. So whoever watches the video will just see me like looking at like the principal, like I'm in trouble.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks with another technical related episode.
Something with some really specific take homes.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you next time.